I'm happy to welcome with us today. We've got BobBiondo with Bell Bank Mortgage and BrandonRobben with Arizona Network Realty. And first of all, I know there's a lot of people that are kind of on the fence. No one knows, okay, is it a good time to buy, whatever. What makes it like a good time versus a bad time? I know there's like the whole cycle of real estate. What is it?
Well, basically what it comes down to is everybody's looking for the bottom of the market. But
exactly.
Nobody knows what the bottom of the market is going to be until after we've passed the bottom of the market. So one of the things that I can tell you is that right now we're in a position where sellers are still willing to give a concession maybe, and they're willing to negotiate on the price a little bit. So that gives us an idea that we're not at that bottom of the market because, and Brandon, you'll attest to this, but of what the inventory is like. Once we get to the point where rates drop a little bit more and we see that people start to come in off of the fence, you're going to lose those seller concessions, number one. And number two, you're going to start competing again like we did a couple of years ago, where there were multiple offers on a house. So
absolutely, yeah. I mean, Bob hit it on the head right there. Like with the interest rates, when they come down, which back on February 2nd, at 5.99 for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
And we saw a ton of activity. We saw a ton of people coming onto our website looking for property. And so what they came down just a little bit the last couple of days, and with inventory levels as low as they are, historically speaking, if you looked at 2008, there were over 50,000 houses on the market.
Seriously?
Over 50,000 houses. Right now, there's 14,363. What I looked at this morning. So there is an unbelievable low amount of inventory. I mean, if you look back at last March, there's 5,000 houses on the market. So we're still at historical lows as far as supply is concerned. Now, demand on the other side is really high. It was low because of interest rates, but it's called pent up demand, right? There's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines, like you said, on the fence, just waiting for Bob to lower the interest rates. It's all
it's all me. Yes, as soon as he does that, we're all going to jump on. But,
I have nothing to do with Jerome Powell. So
But you do see that. I mean, all of a sudden, interest rates and people. I remember aging myself back in the day. I mean. Sure. If you got a 7 or an 8, woohoo, score, Right. And the fact that they got down as low as they did, that is amazing. But you also saw that there were all the fights over homes and it was a true seller's market. And now I feel like it's maybe evening out a little bit.
Right.
Is that true? That it's like kind of where buyers can at least find homes where they're not having to put in an offer on something that it might not be the perfect home.
So that's a good question. If you look at contracts coming in versus listings coming in, Maricopa, which is town way south, Maricopa, Buckeye, and Goodyear are all either on a balanced market or a buyer's market. Everything else is a seller's market.
Really?
So luxury market hasn't been touched. I mean, Chandler's on fire right now. There's a lot of, I mean, it's a seller's market. So if you're a seller, you're sitting there waiting and waiting.
Stop waiting
because there are, our inventory is so low and there's people out there that still have to move. Things happen.
Exactly.
Divorce, death, all the D's.
Yeah.
So downsizing. There's all these things that are still happening, albeit the mortgage rates are a little high, but.
But still, I think for the cost of what you can even get a home, I mean, I feel like it's still comparable when it comes down to it of what your mortgage. And I still am shocked at how many people are still willing to rent, and their rent is more than it would be to actually pay a mortgage on a home, and you're getting equity in it.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
So we're just going to push everybody off the fence.
Yep.
So that way they contact you to be able to start the process. Because I know first people need to get a hold of you to find out, okay, what can we afford if we're going to be buying a home or if we're selling the home of, hey, what do we need to do to get it on the market and get it ready, and just you can walk them through it.
Well, we've talked about this a few times that I've appeared with you and all that. And we've got to start with what you just said, which is you got to be comfortable with what that monthly payment is going to be and how much you're going to need to get into a home. And it starts from that perspective. And then from there, once we know those numbers, then we have Brandon go find you the right home that fits within those parameters.
And the average home buyer looks at 8 homes, and so that's going to take time. And then the pending period from when you contract to close is 30 to 45 days.
Yeah.
That's going to take time. So by the time you get started, I mean, who knows? Maybe the rates are down to 5.5 by the time we even close on the home. So, right?
Yeah.
You never know.
Well, the one thing that we're not going to see in probably our lifetimes is we're probably not going to see rates under 3% again.
Really?
Yeah, unless something tremendous were to happen. So I think what's happened is people, originally had that fear, oh my God, rates have gone up. And then we get to a point where they really skyrocketed and that average rate went into the mid-7s, and then it's starting to come back down. And I think people are starting to realize that, rates are cooperating. And again, as long as you're okay with that payment and the upfront cash to close to start with, then you can always do something about it later, but you got to start from where you're okay with it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, well, this is going to push everybody off the fence, like I said, so we're going to get them started, pick up the phone, get the ball rolling.
One other thing is what I heard anyway, Bob, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but FHA has gone up and the mortgage rates have gone down, or the mortgage interest is going down. What's
changed on FHA is the monthly premium has dropped by 30 basis points. What does that mean? If your mortgage amount, was 0.85%, the factor that was used, now it's only going to be 0.55. So that's gone down. It's made it more affordable to get in with 3.5% down, but we also have programs that we've talked about where we can do, if you're a veteran, no money down, or if you are have 1% to put down, we've got a program that we can do that. So I think what it comes down to is start by talking to me, we'll put you in the right position, and then we'll have Brandon take it from there.
I like the plan. Well, thank you guys for joining me.
Great. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good to see you.